Son of Milby Butler, Big City.
Tell us who Milby Butler was and how he made a living.
Well, Milby Butler was
when he first came into this country.
Milby Butler was a son of George Washington Butler, who came to this area in 1855. He was raised in his father's ranch house near the railroad track, which is now League City. He was interested in the cattle business, but his father decided he shouldn't be in the cattle business, so he put him in partners with a drugstore owner to operate the confectionery shop, which was in those days in all drugstores. And so he was in that from about 1908 to about 1910. But anyway, he sold out his interest in the drugstore to Mr. Ezra Crowe and moved out to the old ranch near Friendswood and stood back into the cattle business. And then, of course, he continued all his life there. And then in about 1922, when his father died, he moved back into League City to take care of his mother for a while. And then while he was here, he bought a place which was on Calder Road, just across the road from where we're standing now. And he established his permanent ranch headquarters here, and then, of course, he still operated his ranch site in Friendswood area, about around 170 acres out there. However, he began acquiring land in this area and acquired around about 1,500 acres over the years. And somewhere in the early 30s, he was observing a cattle show in Houston about somebody showing these longhorn steers. And he says, these people are doing the wrong thing. Steers do not reproduce. And that got him interested in the longhorns, and he went over in East Texas and began acquiring a few cattle and bulls that he could find over there, and established more or less as a hobby a longhorn ranch here in League City.
Can you go ahead and tell us something? Where does Beaver went to the University of Texas as their mascot? What was he and where did he come from originally?
Well, I do not have any personal knowledge of that. Of course, my granddad, my father rather, eventually acquired a head of about 200 longhorns. And I don't know that much about each individual animal except the one that is over in Dayton, I guess now, with
Classic.
Classic.
Classic
that was the one that was a small calf at the time my father, just before he died. It was being sold in an auction around Liberty.
Yeah, Raywood, Texas, wasn't it?
Yeah, in a little auction place near Liberty, Texas. And this was to satisfy a court battle between my father's heirs and what's her name over in Liberty?
That woman's name, I never did hear her.
Anyway, the lady had acquired an interest in his estate by becoming an heir to 1/3 of his properties.
Was it Ms. Wiley?
Yeah, that was her husband's name. Let's see. Well, anyway, that's who it was. And anyway, she had more or less was a friend of the Partlows.
Yes, sir.
And through my daddy's dealing with the Partlows, she became acquainted with him, and then started to visit with him and do favors, and then suggested that they had a pasture close by their house in Liberty, and that if he needed some more pasture for some of his longhorns, he could bring them over there and they'd take care of them. And apparently he did move some stock over there, and they were supposed to have taken care of the cattle on the basis that they would pay for the feeding of them and that it would share the calf crop.
Uh-huh.
And this then led on into the point to where she would take my dad on trips if he needed to go to San Antonio, or then a meeting once in Oklahoma about the longhorn cattle. And through that, she had pretty much control on his activities, particularly as he got older and wasn't real sharp. And she was able to get him to write a will. In fact, he wrote 2 wills, naming her as a full ownership in his interest in the Liberty County property, and 1/3 interest in all of his Galveston County assets. So when he died, of course, my brother and I, we went and filed a contest of that will and finally settled out with her attorneys and gave her the Liberty property, and she disclaimed any interest in the Galveston County property.
And that's how she got Classic?
No, Classic was one, before this, before he died, they was, I'm not sure about before or after he died, but it was decided to handle the cattle that was in Liberty County by just auctioning them off. And so that way, the guy in Dayton, Blackie Graves, bought several animals, one of them being Classic. I suppose it was about a year old or so at that time.
I'd auction ring at Dayton, at Liberty, Raywood auction.
That was done in order to settle who would handle the cattle, because her attorneys claimed they were hers, and we were claiming they belonged to us at that particular time. And but anyway, we finally, brother and I, through attorneys, took us 7 years in court to finally get her out of there.
Is she still living?
As far as I know. Pauline was her name. Pauline.
Pauline.
Pauline was her first name.
That's all I ever heard. Your daddy
Pauline
call her
what?
Pauline.
Well, so you mentioned her.
Wiley?
Pauline Wiley, I believe it is, something like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
I guess she's out of the cow business now.
Well, I'm sure she was out as soon as they did the auction.
Yeah.
However, she had 2 or 3 of the animals that was legally hers during the so-called partnership in raising the cattle.
Well,
that'll go back to exactly what Blackie Gray told me, sitting over at the Raywood auction. He bought Classic right there out of that pen.
yeah. Was you sitting by him when he...
Oh, I was sitting at Blackie and talking with him. And he said, yeah. He said, I bought him right here out of this pen by the head. And that's what had it about a yearling.
Yeah.
When he bought it right there. So well, that's what he went to. And then all these steers, you remember we had over here in Huey Taylor's old dairy? It was shipped over yonder. Some of them pictures of what I got now at the house that Ralph raised, some of them raised from the same daggone bunch of steers. They come out of that place that old Huey used to, Huey Taylor had it at dairy.
Yeah.
So that's when he moved to Liberty with him.
Mr. Glaston Butler, would you tell us where your daddy came from into this country? Where was he born and raised?
Oh, he was born in League City, as far as I know.
Oh, he was born here.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't League City at that time. It was Clear Creek, Texas at that time, or probably. His father established his ranch headquarters here in 1873, although he was raised out west of here near Friendswood from 1855.
And we're standing on the very ground of y'all's pens and old home place and everything, and I'm going to swing the camera around and get the tree in your front yard. Is that correct?
Well, it was in the backyard.
In the backyard,
In the
okay.
backyard of the thing. It was a big, large oak tree was in the backyard.
There's the oak tree that was in the old Milby Butler home.
That's right.
And now it's a housing project there.
Yeah, there was 25 acres in that tract. You might say his ranch headquarters.
25 acres.
In that tract, and it was sold later by the banks, handling his estate for a while, to some developers who have developed it into a housing project.
But this 25 acres is where he brought the cattle and cut them and worked them and
Yeah, he
ran
had his barns and everything, and then this tract that we're standing on right at the moment was over to the southwest here. There's a small house where his maid lived. And then he, of course, this and a property right on back through from to the east and to the south of us was accounted for about 600 acres that he used. And he eventually acquired 190, well, it was a little more than that. It was about 250 acres of it altogether. Finally established legal ownership too.
Yes.
And then the rest of his property was on over to the west of which is called I-45 now. And he had close to about 2,000 acres, 1,500 acres.
What's called Chinaberry pasture.
They call that Chinaberry.
That's where we penned them cattle when John Wayne come down through. Yeah. Them pens that was built up.
Well, in that area, there was a development out there way back around 1900 or before, and people planted a lot of Chinaberry trees.
Chinaberry trees, that's where we picked up the
that's where that area got its name, Chinaberry pasture.
Steer, gathering the steers for John Wayne Milby of the Alamo, if you can, and I think Mr. Walter was in on that.
Well, when they got the word from Price Daniels that John Wayne wanted to look at his cattle for that picture, well, of course, Milby got my brother and I was working with him at the time. We went out here at Chinaberry where we had been working on all these pens all this time, and we went and penned them cattle for John Wayne to come down and look at the next day. He and Price Daniels come over and picked out the cattle that they wanted for the show, and they made the deal, and of course, then shipped it. John Wayne had come down to look at it. So John Wayne, Mr. Butler, and Price Daniels was some of them cattle. Might have been all of the cattle. I don't know if there's anybody else involved or not.
There was, I think, Bill Daniels was the one actually, didn't he?
Well, Bill Daniels.
He performed in the picture.
Yes.
And then I know that my dad was invited down to spend a day at the scene and with the star,
John Wayne,
the star of the picture, and apparently Mr. John Wayne must have been fairly impressed with my father's cattle and my father, but anyway, somewhere. Well, before I get to the next part, I went to see the picture of this, and one of the things that I can't figure out why they didn't edit out of it, during this scene they show a bunch of these longhorn cattle breaking through and out either a building or somewhere coming out, and here was one white Bremel.
I saw that.
That come riding through. How they allowed that to happen, I don't know. But one other thing interesting to me was John Wayne must have been fairly impressed with my father's cattle and activity, because my father was here ill in later years. When John Wayne was making a picture, an oil field picture, I think over in Goose Creek, they call it the Goose Creek oil field.
Thunder Bay.
I don't remember the name of the thing. But anyway, he was making that picture, and one day he came into League City to see my dad, just to visit, see how he was doing. And I think he was in the hospital at the time, and he got down there to see him.
Is that right?
And, apparently he must have been interested in my dad's activities in these longhorns too, because that was several years after the time the picture was made.
Yes, that was in the 60s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the 60s. They first started resting the longhorns in 64.
I was, as a young boy, of course, I was used on to ride a horse. You know, a boy on a horse could do just about as much as a man on a horse as far as herd and cattle is concerned. He bought me a little, well, also when we was in Friendswood area, I had to ride to school on a horse, 3.5 miles every day. And so he had bought me a little quarter horse. And it wasn't really good enough to run on the track, but he was pretty fast. Anyway, he would, when we were out working cattle, and I would be around my side of the cattle, and it wasn't really kind of halfway napping on my horse. Well, he'd slip up behind me and whip me with one of these 8-flats, you know.
Oh.
And of course, he'd hit the horse too. So later on, as time went on, any time that I feel that horse dancing under me, I knew my dad was coming up behind and we'd take off.
Coming up close.
And get around to the other side of the herd. So I owe a lot to the little horse.
Smart.
His name was King.
Where'd he come from? King's Ranch?
I don't know. My daddy bought him around here somewhere, but anyway, we called he was all white. They called him King, and but King really got smart to this business of getting hit with that 8-flat.
He didn't know he was coming up.
Is there anything else y'all would like to add to the Butler family?
Well, I don't know. There's a few descendants left.
Could you name them, maybe?
Yeah, I have a daughter by the name of Anita Butler, and I have a son by the name of Robert Milby Butler, and my brother had a son by the name of Henry Butler Jr. So
Where does Mr. Henry Jr. live?
He lives in Houston right now, and he works for some auto supply company, I believe. And my daughter Anita Butler, she's works for Federal Express.
Yes, sir.
Drives that, and then my son Robert Butler, he is a pipeline maintenance man. In other words, he goes along these pipeline projects, and he has a special truck with equipment in it to maintain the bulldozers and all the equipment. In fact, he just got back about Christmas from a job through the Mojave Desert in California. He was glad to get back to, he lives in Louisiana. He's glad to get back to Louisiana at that particular time. That's about all I might have to add right now.
Okay, thanks very kindly. This is the old Milby Butler house. Just tell us about it.
This is Milby Butler's old home. He lived here in Lake City. It was moved when he sold out, after he passed away, and they sold out and building home there where this house used to be. They moved it over into here. Drink a cup of coffee and a breakfast or supper here with the Butler family.
This is the ranch headquarters, wasn't it?
This was his ranch home over yonder on the other side of Lake City before he got out of here.
First Longhorns that I purchased came from Raywood Livestock Auction. And there was a lady had called and told me she had some cattle up there for sale, some Longhorn cattle that I might be interested. And I was working to sale anyway, so it didn't matter. When I got there, there was 3 bulls and a cow. And the word was out Mr. Graves was going to buy that bighorn bull, and I knew I couldn't outbid Mr. Graves, so I told him to buy me the others. Well, he did buy me the other 2 bulls, but the cow went up to 59 cents a pound. He said that was way too much to give for any cow, and he let her go. And to make a long story short, after a few months, a man came from Colorado and got to looking around at those cattle and found out that they were registered, that Miss Russell still had the papers on them. So when they became registered, they were solid white, had red ears, and that was not a real desirable color in the Longhorn people. They didn't like white cows. But they liked this one because of his horn. And like I say, the longest horn bull on record at that time was 47 inches, and Classic measured at a flat 60 inches the first time they ever measured him. And boy, they put him on the line right away. And it wasn't many years, maybe just 1 year or more, that Red McCombs purchased half interest in that bull for $10,000. And they bred him, and he would put that kind of horn on most of his calves. He did breed lots of horn on the cattle. And later on, they syndicated half that bull. They sold 10 shares of him for $50,000 a share. They had $500,000 off it and still owned half of him. And the bull's still alive. He's at Mr. Graves right now.
What's his name?
His name is Classic.
Classic, yeah.
And like I say, it all stemmed from there. But I wound up with what they call the Aggie herd. I had 2 bulls. And Miss Russell loaned me the old cow, and she had a bull calf on its time that I kept here. Later on, Charlie Schreiner and Red McCombs and I think Terry Kelsey purchased that old cow from Miss Russell. And that was undoubtedly, well, she had 1 more calf. She bred here on my place, and she had 1 more calf.
That made 18?
Time, yes,
16.
16 that she had. And that bull is called Wao Centennial. That's the last calf she had. That Wao Ranch still owns him. But she gave me half of him and Wild Ranch half, and they purchased my half. That we traded out some heifers. But the other calf that she brought here with her, Miss Russell gave me, I castrated him, made a steer. This is all before they rested out. It don't sound so bad. But I had 2 bulls and a steer. And Mr. Gray said, "What are you going to do with that other bull?" I said, "Well, I guess I'd just trade him somebody for a cow." And he said, "Well, I'll trade you a cow for him." And I said, "Well, that's fine." And like I say, we were just trading unregistered animals. And he brought me a real nice cow. Then when this guy came down from Colorado and got them all ready and they became so valuable, Mr. Crave's conscience was hurting him, and he brought me another cow. And he said, I said, "Why?" I said, "Well, I beat you so bad." I said, "No, you didn't. It was just like me selling you a piece of land, you striking all, you know. I mean, that was a fair trade, and I wasn't upset about it." But anyway, he gave me 2 cows for my bull, and the other bull that he had is called Monarch, and that's probably the second leading sire in the country. And
so Liberty Chambers County's got some of the best Longhorns in the nation.
As for horns, they probably have the best. You know, I would say Mr. Graves' herd is probably most noted and for horns of all herds in the Longhorn business. Now there's others that have other characteristics. There's some awful good Longhorns and some, but Mr. Graves did have more horns than probably anybody else, and was highly sought after during the peak of the Longhorns, and he still has a good market for most of his bulls. But that's how I got in the Longhorn business, and from those 2, then I purchased some more and gradually eased into it. I did quite well with my bull. My bull had 57-inch horns, but there's a lot of them. He didn't have the ability to put that horn on everything as did Classic. Classic had the and Monarch does also has the better ability to. My bull was the bigger of the 2. That was
something in
a strange thing.
DNA, genetics, or what?
It must have been. However, they were. Well, I don't know how closely bred or inbred they may have been. Ms. Russell only had that cow, and she had 2 or 3 bulls, and of course they were probably her calves. And you know, you would call that line breeding rather than inbreeding. It wasn't brother to sister, but it was mother to son probably. And to get that bull, but there's never been another bull produced with that long horn. Now there's got some that's gotten close, but nobody's ever.
Classic.
Well, I'm J.W. Isaacs. Whenever they're talking nice, these cows right here is direct descendants of the cows I bought when Milby died. I got them out of the estate sale.
Oh, I see.
And
is this one of your oldest ones?
I don't have none of the cows that I bought from him. They all died off. But this is a daughter from one of them, and here's her daughter, one of her daughters standing right here, and and 1 bull so far. And with the set of horns that she's got and what she puts on her daughters, why, I haven't sold any of them. I've kept with me.
Well, that tells you something, doesn't it?
Well, I like them.
Yeah.
I like them.
Look at them horns them rascals put on.
I don't know whether I can call any of them up or not. Woo! Did your wife come with you?
She's in the house.
Good.
We went to the house.
Woo!
You just think I'd get over here without her.
Woo!
This rain and mud is unbelievable.
You see how I dress? I put on these coveralls so they don't get too muddy. My wife won't let me in the house otherwise.
Do you blame her with all that mud? It's unbelievable, all this mud.
Woo! Woo! It's a little bit early to feed yet. That I sold here. I sold Anita, I can't think of that man's name, out in Austin now. And she took world champion 2 years and reserve champion 1 year. And I've still got 2 daughters off of that cow. And I'm keeping this one out there in that pen, and the other one goes in the Houston Pat Stock Show this year to sell.
To sell. You going to let Mr. Eddie Wood sell her?
Yes, Eddie Wood be the hawker.
Yeah.
They're crossbreeding more than Gilby. Stop. Almost 2/3. I should have brought a feed bucket. There's 2 old steers laying back there.
Yeah, all this
Out
mud.
in mud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the hell I'm gonna put him. Yeah. I come back.
Standing around here waiting for the feed, waiting for the hay. Yeah.
I call them my poverty program.
Mine's doing
Like
the
people
same.
on food stamps.
Mine doing the same thing, standing right at the gate.
They stand right here and wait. I bring out and hand them.
Yeah, that's the poverty
Mine
program.
doing the same dadgum thing. That old bull is limping. He limps good.
Yeah, he's a young bull. I think that old bull hit him to start it. Woo! They're not going to move. I opened another gate this morning into another pasture, into my hay meadow, so as they can work in there for a while. I don't know if you can get back there to it or not. You climb up or Damon.
We go there.
Yeah.
That's what I've been putting out a bunch of them on my head.
Well, I've got put 2 new ones out here yesterday. They've eat all these others up. Well, there's some down in the bottom of most of them.
Them 200 pounds, about 200 pounds.
250.
Yeah. But
I believe those is.
How long did you say you'd been in cow business right here on your dad's land on this old place?
Well, my dad gave me my first one back in 1920.
1920.
And I've never been without since. Of course, I wasn't very big then
No.
either.
When did you get hot and heavy after the Longhorn?
56.
1956.
I borrowed a Butler bull from Ben McCormick's little boy. Ben McCormick's little boy was standing out there with Milby Butler one day and his daddy, and there was a doggy calf standing over about like that. Mr. Butler told him, said, I'll give you that calf, you can catch it. That kid bounced over and caught it before he could turn around. And he raised him, and I borrowed him as the first bull, Longhorn bull I used when I started reverting back to Longhorns.
Is that
And that
right?
turned out to be too slow. So I butchered off my old crossbred steers and went up to North Texas to the Razor Ranch and bought 2 heifer crops. And then I went to Wildlife Refuge in Oklahoma and bought a bull. And then when Milby died, I went over and got 7 out of his old cows out of his estate. And then when I believe Mrs. Butler died later on, I got, seemed to me like it was 8 or 10 2-year-old heifers.
But you don't have any more of the old original Butler cows
No,
left?
they'd be too old, but now they'd be dead. All I can point out some offsprings. Fact is, everything on the place pretty well come down from them,
One way or the other?
on one side or the other. But I've been using, right now, the 2 bulls I'm using, that last one I got from Ace Cattle Company over in Louisiana, he's full Butler, and
Is that Hoffman?
no,
It wasn't John
no, it was Ace Cattle Company, a neighbor to Hoffman over there. And the other bull I got, Magnum 44, he's a good part of him, Butler, but I can't tell you for sure whether he's all Butler or not. But Ace is going for all Butler.
Oh, they are?
They're going for all Butler unless they're an extreme individual. They put a lot of money into it too. I know, because I sold some of them to him. He got down and I had to shoot him. I don't know how long they are. They're almost as long as I am.
They just, they 72, over 72 inches.
They're sticking in the mud there. Look at around the base of them buggers. Put that in up there and this way, I guess. Look at the base around them buggers.
Still a little hide left on that other one.
Yeah. Sure.
On that old steer.
Stuck on that. God. Them big old twists.
That one up on top was 17 years old, and this one down below was 18 when they died.
Where's the top one now? I've seen the top one.
The beautiful one. I said, honey, you'd be lucky to buy those anywhere from $500 to $1,000. I said, it depends what animal. That animal has to die first before you can get those horns. And then it dawned on her, but she thought, I
You never
really
know.
didn't. And that's true.
No, we'll never know. We'll never
Old Tom and Jerry. Mr. Jerry Partlow, Liberty, Texas.
Did you ever meet Dan Emery of the association?
No, sir.
No, I didn't.
Our son is named Dan Emery.
What? Yeah, but that,
Our son is named Dan Emery.
Yeah, but that wasn't him though.
Or 3/4.
Oh.
And he was in World War II over there in the Philippines.
Walter, that name's not Blanchard.
No. No.
We've been trying to think of a name for 3 hours, didn't
The parade of Goliath that turned out to be real fast stampede.
Years ago, and still raising them longhorns and love them.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Blackie, you want to make a statement?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Well, I knew it all. I mean, I listened to the Jenkins.
Yeah.
All from a longhorn cow and a half longhorn.
I had one that I got, they used one of my bulls, and she gave me a...
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got that. Well, I had two heifers.
And I raised him over that bottom, but I don't think his horns would have been that long. It might have been. And I decided somebody's going to kill that thing with these heads.
That's what I thought.
So I brought him in, and I must have hurt his horn. He shed a horn.
Okay. But this bull, this steer, those came to a show in Trinity, and God, he got rough. Let me tell you what, he got rough. And then we just had to get him, and we killed him, and we put him at a ranch food market in town. And then they sold the place, so I got him on. And that's so Superior's horns here.
Oh, is it?
That's Superior. That's that's not a bad set of horns for a bull.
No, that's a heck of a set of horns. Look at the base on it.
Yeah.
And then blue horns, that's blue horns is horns under him.
Oh, really?
Blue, yeah, that's his head. We cut it, we're gonna have just that part.
Yeah.
But we got it, but that's a nice set of horns for a bull.
You bet.
That's one of that's a monarch daughter right there. I bought it at
He produced a lot of horns.
Yeah, right. And then some of these corkscrews.
On feed.
Okay, this is a cow I got from Judy Jenkins called Ramblin' Rose. He had twists at the head, and this one here is Droopy, Miss Droopy.
Is that Miss Droopy?
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever hear from Judy?
The bull that got real famous was Smarty, because that's the time that they started talking about the Butler cattle.
Yeah.
So he's
Was which one?
Smarty.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Then he taken and he got crippled. He carried him back to China, buried, and brought Ken, his son.
Mm-hmm.
And Ken was Smarty sired Ken.
Right.
Okay.
White cow that got so famous called 200.
Yeah.
And then that's Franklin. That got the little turnover trailer and she got killed. And then the brown cow from Water Night, that when he bought the first Potlow cows, she had that calf. She was bred and had that calf.
Yeah.
Is that Brownie?
Yeah, that's Brownie 17. And cows like that, it's hard to come back by. They're so strong in the genes.
Yeah, that's right.
And I guess that.
One of them bulls, Darryl bought them two bulls and went.
Old, he's gonna have the horns.
Yeah.
He was out of that white horn cow, then a bull, when I bought him at Raywood, was bred to one of them Ken, I guess. But I was come out of the hospital in '84 with my operation, and he was dead in the past. Somebody must have shot him, because they could not. He didn't have nothing wrong with him. They put him down.
What's mean?
Got a negative of it?
Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all have the picture.
If you'll give it to me, I'll make Mr. Blackie a
You
copy.
got one, and you got one.
Good.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's her heifer cave looking at you right there. That red
What's her name? Is Red Cow.
Doggone, let me think of it. That's my went on. Y'all excuse me on that. That's Big bass.
Big
Big
bass.
bass droopy.
This calf's gonna have high horns just like her.
Just like her, right?
That red one?
You know the spectrum.
Spectrum. I want her too.
You gotta wait a minute, Jake. Now, just hold on a second. Jake's pretty active in this deal, and I tell you what, he probably knows as much about a Butler cow as anybody in this association, and that's no joke. This young man is very talented. I told him when I went to kicking him on the leg, he'd have said enough. Here you are, Jake.
Okay, I would like to say a few words. Welcome to the Butler Breeders Invitational Sale in Lockhart, Texas. I would like to welcome you to the Butler Breeders Invitational Sale and also welcome lot number 6, the Star Monarchs Cheer.
Here. Good there, speak. Yeah. Yeah, he's been coaching him all morning, telling him to say that.
Gold Rush Creek Plantation consignment. This cow was born 5/12 of 85. She's moving from a certified brucellosis and TB-free herd. She is bred to Conquistar. Palpated the calf in February. This is a Dixie Hunter daughter out of FM Graves 102. Cow that we were very fortunate to own. She just passed away this past winter, but one of the outstanding cows of the breed for many, many years. This is a beautiful daughter, looks very much like her mother, and is just about as fine a Butler cow as we can start this sale off with today.
And let me tell you a little something. Dixie Hunter, I think, puts as much horn on anything as there is in this business. And I think there's a lady right here that's had a lot of influence on the breed. None other than Ruth Hoffman, Johnny's wife. Stand up, Ruth. Let's give her a hand.
I should have introduced you to Ruth. After many years putting on the Louisiana purchase, she knows how I am, and I know she'll forgive me. But thank you very much.
I don't know. That wasn't what she told me. Ruth, it's a privilege to have you here. I know you have these cattle at your heart, and I know Johnny'd be proud to see the cattle that are here today. A lot of them come right out of his breeding, and we're proud that he could be a part of it, and we're still very, very proud that you still have an interest in them. It's nice to have you here, Ruth. We appreciate it. Yeah, give her a hand. We're going to rock and roll now. You got all said you want to do, cowboy? I'm going to trade stock. Walk my mind, gather around, what did you give? I'm on 5,000, what did you give? $1,500, $2,000. I can 2,000, 52, I can 2,000, 2,500, I can 2,000, 25, I can 2,000, 2,500, they but it 55, 25, but it 55, I can 2,000, 2,500. It's 25, but it bit $3,000, bit me 3, I can 25, but it bit 3, 3,500, I can 3,000, 3,500. It's 3,500, bit me 5, but it bit 35, give me 32. Now 5, I get 32, and now 5. It's 35, but it bit me 5, but it bit 5, I get 35, and now 7. I get 7, it bit me 7, 37. It's 7, it bit me $4,000. I get 37, it bit boom, $4,000. 7, it bit me boom. I get 37 and $4,000. It's 4,000, bit me boom, 4,000. I get 37, $4,000. You know, the first one's always hardest one to sell.
48, Robert.
And I tell you, here's a cow right here that's worth a lot more, and I'm not going to beg and plead. I come to swap stock, and that's what I'm going to do. But I tell you, there's a cow right there that can be a $15,000 cow any place you want to put her. Dixie Hunter.
I'm telling you, people that have been around this breed, they know what.
39. I got 38, but I get 3,900. I get 38, 59, 3,900, but I get 59. I got 38, now 9. It's 3,900. I'm on Sutter. I get 38, but I get 39. It's 3,900, 59, but I 59, 3,900, but I get before $4,000. Billy got to be $4,000. It's 4,000, bid me 4,000. I get 39, with $4,000. I get 39, but a bit $4,000. I get 39, a bit before. Here goes. Thank you, 39. Oh, my goodness, looky here.
Okay, this is my consignment. This is Monarch's Charity, lot number 6. Jake was right. I don't know about the star of the sale, but she certainly was the star of our herd, or one of them. Very special cow to us. We acquired her from Mr. Johnny Hoffman. He had a tremendous amount of success with this cow. She's about as fine as we can offer. She has a Mojo pull calf inside, which has legitimate prospects as a herd sire. We knew we had to bring you a good one. Our name's on this deal, and we tried to bring you one of our best.
Look at the horns on that baby. I'll tell you what, he hasn't been here very long, and look at him now. They're sticking out there like about 2 inches already. Boy, she's a great cow. Get right in, boys. I want 20,000. What did you get bar? Wop, mama, gather around 2,000, 3,000. I got 2,000, bid me 3. It's 3,000, bid me 3. Now 3, now 4. I got 4,000, bid me 5. But a bit 4, 5. I get 5, but a bit 5. And now 6. I get 5, but a bit 6. I got 6,000, bid me 3, but a bit 6. I get 5, but a bit 6. $6,000, but a bit 6. I get 5,000, 5,500. It's 55, and now 6. Now 65. I get 6,000, 6,500. It's 6,500, bid me 5, but a bit 5. I get 6,000, 65, and now 7. Gotta be 7. It's 65, but a bit 7. Now 7, but a bit 7. I get 65, but a bit. I took it here now. 65, gotta be 7,000. Jim's in. 65, 7,000. It's 7,000, bid me 7. Now 7, but a bit me 7. You won't say 7. Now 5, 75. It's 75, but a bit me 5, 75. Come along now. $8,000. I get 8,000, 85. I got 8,000. Give me 8,500 there, but a bit me 5. Yes, you will. And now 9. I got 9. A bit me 9 and now 9. What do you mean no? You know about that porch swing, don't you? 85, $9,000, Buck. Come on. It's 9,000, bid me down and now 9. One time. Would you give 87? You'll do that. 87, down 9. Well, I'll declare. Just get it fixed on one end, you tear it up on the other. I got 87. You want to give 88? It's more money. Now 89. That's what you told me down $6,000. Now I don't believe you're lying to me. 89. Listen to Queso.
Now, I'd just like to say, you know, people come to the place and they see the cows and all, they say, when are you going to turn loose of a good one? Well, I've tried to at this deal. If y'all don't like her, I can't bring you much better. She's an outstanding cow, no faults, gentle as can be. This is what we all dream about right here.
And a known daughter of the great monarch. 8,800, 8,900. I got 80, but to give 89, 8,900, I'm a seller. 89, a bit midnight, but to give 89, you get it? 8,900, I got 80, you get 89, Jim? Now 9, $9,000. I got 89 and now 9. It's $9,000, bid me 9, but a bit me 9, $9,000, but a bit me 9, I got 89 and now 9, I'm a seller. It's $9,000, bid me 9, but a bit me 9, yes or no? I got 89, $9,000, sold it to what, Jim? 8,900. 135.
This will be lot number 8. Vernon and Janice Webb consignment. This is BJ Hanna. I'll take a moment. For those of you that don't know, Janice is probably the most integral part of this entire sale. She's a tremendous worker. She's put everything together. In addition to doing the catalog, we're trying to do a little something different with the catalog and give you a little bit more information. And Janice is a big part of that. This is their consignment, BJ Hanna. She's a 92 model. She is bred 3 months to BJ Nestor, the outstanding son of BJ Tommy, also known as Unlimited. She's a no-double daughter out of BJ Mamu. The Mamu cow, Michael and I were very fortunate to be able to acquire her at last year's Butler breeder sale, and she is an outstanding cow. This is one of the great young cows of the Butler breed. Here she is, Carl.
I tell you what, a ripping good cow. Wop, mama, gather around. What did you give? Boy, I want 10,000. It's 10,000, bid me 10, but it bid me 10, 2, 3. I got 3, 4. I got 4, 5, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. It's 7, it bid me 8, now 9, now 10. I got 10,000, bid me 10, but it bid me 10. I got 9, it bid 10, $10,000, 11, not 12. I got 11, it bid me 12, 13, 14. It's 14,000, I got 13, 14. I got 13, it bid $14,000, 14. Here goes. I got 13,000, 14,000. It's 14,000, 14,000, 7, it bid me 14,000. I got 13 and 14. 13 and a half, 14 and a half, 14 and a half. It's 14 and a half, 14 and a half. I get 14 and a half, 15, 15 and 15,000. I get 14 and a half, but a bit 15, 15,000. I get 14 and a half, but a bit 15. It's 15. I get 14 and a half, but a bit 15,000. 15,000, but a bit 15,000. I get 14 and a half, but a bit 15. It's 15,000, 15,000. What are you talking about? Listen to him. Boys, there's a difference in them. They're kind of like women now. If you don't believe it, get you 1 or 2.
You know, you don't hardly see cattle like this, and when you got a chance to buy them in public auction, it's a real opportunity not to be missed. This is an outstanding young cow, just a baby 92 model, 3 months bred to the Nestor bull, who's a Tommy son.
Now I've got 14,500.
In excess of 60 inches, 61, 62 inch range, outstanding young cow.
And I want 15,000. 14,500, 15. It's 15. I get 15,000, 15,000, 15,000. I get 14,500, 15,000. I get 14,500, 14,700. It's 14,700. I get 14,500, 7. It's 70, bid me 7, 7, 14,700. I get 14,500. I get 14,500, but a bid 7. I get 14,500, but a bid me 7. It's 70, bid me 7, now 7, 7, but a bid me 7. I get 14,500, but a bid 7, 7. I get 14,500, 7. It's 70, bid me 7. Yes or no? 14,700. I get 14,500, 14,700. It's 14,700. I want to sell her, boy. But I'll tell you what, you don't see many of them like her, I'll tell you that. 181. That's right. I'd like to have 15,000. Will you give 14,700? Thank you. Enough? How can you tell what's enough? Hell, you haven't looked at my commission check very good, have you? 14,500, 14,700. I get 14,500, but a bit 7. 7. Now 15. Robert.
I'm talking to you.
You're talking to me.
You ain't talking very clear. He don't understand.
Okay, when you hold your hand up, I take you. Thank you. 15, Robert. Give me 15,000. 14, 7, 15.
Yeah.
Now 15-2. 15-2. Get your man again, Joyce. Ring the damn telephone. 15-2. I get 15 to bid 2. It's 15,000 bid me 2, but a bid me 2. I get 15,000 to bid 2. You gonna do it? So did Robert King. $15,000. Give him a hand. Give him a hand.
Lot number 13, Michael McLeod, consignment. When I said our names are on this deal, you can sure tell it. Michael's brought one of the finest cows from his herd, one of the finest cows he said he's owned as long as he's been in this business. He got her from Sam Pargo. This cow is a Duke Monarch daughter out of Miss Creek P. She's a full sister to the Hattie Bell cow that I have the privilege of owning. The heifer, the red heifer calf inside does not sell. Michael's retaining her, but he did want to show you the kind of color and horn that this cow can produce. She is 7.5 months bred to Shenandoah Nick, an outstanding son of the Nick Bull from Blackie Graves' herd, and Miss Graves 11, a Bold Rooter and Graves 102 daughter. This is just loaded with top Butler breeding from top to bottom. She has in excess of 67 inches tip to tip, Colonel.
There you are. You talk about a cow that's got a lot of horn now. She's guaranteed 7.5 months bred now to Shenandoah Nick, an old son of the great Nick Bull, boy. Now the red heifer don't go. The red heifer don't go. I heard a man bid him 5,000 for that heifer right outside yesterday. He doesn't want to sell her. He wants to retain her in her herd as a brood cow, and she's a great heifer. Get in and help yourself. My hooked her. What did you give? I'm with 15,000. It's 15,000, 15,000, sir. 2,000. Money down. 3,000. I can do 3. I got 3,000. Better than but I can do, but it gets 3,000. I got 2,000, 3,000. Here go. I got 2,000, 3,000. It's 3,000. Bid 3. Not 4. Not 5. I got 4,000. Bid me 5. I gotta be 5. It's 5,000. Bid me 5. Not 5. I get 4 to bid 5. $5,000 there, but it bid me 6. And now 7. Not me. Well, I got 7 to bid me 800. I got 8,000, 7,000, 8,000. I got 7 to bid 8. I got 7 to bid me 8,7,500, Jim. I got 775. Now me. I got 8,000, 8,000, 7 to bid me 8. I got 78. Now 8,500. I got 8,000, 85. I got 8,500. Bid me 5 to bid 8,500. I got 8,000, 8,500. Listen to Queso. Here's a good cow with a lot of class.
This is an outstanding cow, one of the great cows of the Butler bloodline.
8,200. Now 5. I got 82. Now 5. 85. It's 8,500. Bid me 5, but it bid me 5. 8,500. Don't lose it. I got 8,500. Bid me 5, but it bid me 5. 8,500. Say, but it bid me 5. 8,500. Well, I got 82. 85, Jim. 85. I'm waiting on you. 8,500. I got 82, but it give 85. 8,500. Yes or no, Jim? At 8,500. Bid me 5, but it bid me 5. I'm going to sell it. 8,200. 8,500. I got 82 to bid 5. Sold it, Jim. 8,200. 137, 8,200. Thank you. 137. That'll be in the bowling. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.